It's really important on the Unit 3 test to read the directions and do what they're asking you to do. So for Learning Target 3.1, it just says find the slope of the line. That's it, nothing more. If you do more, then I'm not sure whether you don't understand the directions or you didn't read the directions, you don't know for sure what the slope is. So remember, slope, the variable is m. Your final answer is going to be m equals something. Now, as a reminder, slope is rise over run, and you can help yourself to walk yourself through that process by saying, well, first, I know then that I need to set up a fraction bar because it's something over something. On the graph, y's rise. So I look inside my ordered pairs, and I'm going to put one point above the other point. Inside an ordered pair, x comes before y. So my y's are 2 and 6. X's run across. My x's are 4 and -4. And then if I have to work myself through the rest of that thought process, ignoring these numbers for a minute, I could go back to, well, if the line were to rise from 3 to 7, how much did it rise? Well, from 3 to 7, it rose 4. How do I get 4 out of the numbers 3 and 7? I would have to subtract 7 minus 3. So it's subtraction between these because you're finding the change in your values. So 2 minus 6 is -4. 4 minus -4 is +8. Now, if you punch this in your calculator, it's going to say m equals -0.5. But it says give your answer as an integer. Well, we can't do that in integers like -1, +5. And this is going to be a fraction or decimal. If it can't be as an integer, then as a simplified fraction. Okay, well, -0.5 or -4/8 is -1/2 as a simplified fraction. And then, of course, if it can't be given as a simplified fraction, can't be given as an integer because you get something that's not possible to calculate, you're going to say that it's undefined. You do have to show the work for every problem, though. So again, I'm going to put one point above the other point. It doesn't matter which point's on top. M is rise over run, so y minus the other y over x minus the other x. The other thing to note here when I'm doing this, if I start with the second point, the 15 minus the -5, then for the x, it has to be in the same order, the -3 minus 2. So 15 minus -5 is +20, -3 minus 2 is -5. In this case, it says give it as an integer if possible. Well, 20 divided by -5 is -4. If it's possible to not write it as a fraction, you don't write it as a fraction. So I would not want to see m equals -4/1 as a final answer here. Now, in this case, some people were tempted to say x equals -4. That's true, that's the equation of the line, but that's not the slope. And you still have to show the work for the slope on every problem. I had some people who showed the work for this, got the right answer of undefined, but they actually showed the wrong work. They did run over rise instead of rise over run, and so then they were saying 0 divided by something is undefined. So if you didn't show the work, again, I don't know if you're just saying that answer or if you really would know how to calculate it correctly. Show your work on every problem. So m is y minus y over x minus x. Well, 13 minus -5 is +18. -4 minus a -4 is 0. If you try to put that in your calculator, it's going to just tell you that there's an error because you can't divide by 0. Basically, when you're taking 18 divided by 0, you're saying what number could I multiply by 0 to get an answer of 18? Nothing would ever work. So in this case, this is the answer that m is undefined. And those are your slope problems.